Hi, folks. My name is Sean Doolan. I'm a founding partner of the law firm of Doolan, Platt, and Cetera. In an earlier video, I talked about the reasons I became an advocate for the elderly. And you may recall that I mentioned having an uncle who was neglected in a nursing home and having attended a seminar for nursing home lawyers in Las Vegas. Now, those are the obvious influences. But there are also some not so obvious influences, maybe even some unconscious influences that led me to become an advocate for the elderly. And I've been giving this some thought lately. And as a young child, for some reason, I always rooted for the underdog. Even though I'm born in the Bronx, I was even a New York Met fan for a brief period of time. But I think I get that idea of rooting for the underdog from both of my parents. And today I want to tell you a story about my father, a lesson that he taught me that I didn't fully realize until I became an adult and he was long gone. In this summer, I don't know which summer it was, in the 1970s, a Vietnamese family moved into my neighborhood of attached houses. We were all in these small row houses, all attached with a tiny little yard. They were a large family, I think as many as 7 kids, no father present in the home, and their mom caring for them and doing an impossible task of having to raise 7 children in another country, and also work and manage all of this. None of that mattered to me when I was a kid. What mattered to me was that these kids were unsupervised. We were all unsupervised. And we had so much fun in their house, especially as the weather got colder. We were able to play the outdoor sports indoors. We were playing soccer in the living room. We were playing wiffle ball, ping pong. They loved ping pong. I got pretty good at it. So it was really fun. And as it got colder, we approached winter. And I was closest in age to Fung. And Fung and I had a conversation about Christmas and Santa Claus, and I explained to him that, oh, I just write a letter to Santa Claus and I provide a list and I get all the gifts that I want, and or at least some of them. And he was confused. He didn't believe me, and I was shocked. I was surprised. I couldn't understand how he didn't know about this. So I went home and told my father, and my father was just as surprised as me. He couldn't believe that they didn't know about this. So what he told me, my father said to me, go back to Fung, tell them, each kid, to put one item on the list and write a letter, and he'll mail it to Santa Claus. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. So they made the list. I remember some of the items. It was a soccer ball, a TV. There might have been a bicycle on there. Christmas came, and all the gifts had arrived at my house, not theirs. So I was surprised, but it was fine. I called Fung, and the family came over, and they got their gifts, and we had an awesome Christmas. Of course, it wasn't until I got older that I realized, fully realized what my father did. In fact, it wasn't until he was long gone. My father died young, so it wasn't until I was an adult with a family working in a very demanding field that I had that full realization. Because my father, at the time, I realized he was working 2 jobs. He was a New York City police officer. He was an immigrant himself, and he had a second job as a house painter. Very rarely spent time with him because of that. And in the 1970s, early 70s, economic times were tough. So, when I look back on that, I realized that my father taught me more in that one act of kindness than anything he has ever said to me. There were many more acts of kindness, but that certainly stood out. And I can't help but think that my father played a big part in me becoming an advocate for the most vulnerable in our society. Thank you, folks.